My name is Ed Johnson, and I am a graduate of Eastern New Mexico University with a bachelor's in political science and a master's degree in political science and business administration. I am the executive director of governmental affairs of Brookdale Community College, which is our local community college here in Monmouth County, New Jersey. I'm also the retired mayor of Asbury Park, having served 15 years in that office. And then I currently am also an ambassador for the Global Parliament of Mayors. I'm from New Jersey, so my family has always been our educators. My mom and my dad, and then my stepmother as well, has been in education, and that's always been an important emphasis in our family, is education. My parents really were the first generation of our family to complete their college degrees and then go on to get their masters and their doctorates. But all throughout our family, the history of our family, it's been about educating yourself. As my grandmother would tell me that if you get your education, that's something that no one can ever take from you, and that it certainly was a key to the future. So that really was a huge emphasis in our lives. All of my brothers and sisters followed on, and we got advanced degrees in education, and never looked back. Well, my hobbies are swimming. I live here at the beach, of course, in Asbury Park as well, on the Atlantic Ocean. And that's something I've always been involved in. I love the beach, I love swimming, and it's seen me through quite a bit. As a swimmer, I took swimming at the natatorium, Eastern New Mexico University, and got my WSI. Then I spent summers in Portales serving as lifeguard at the city pool and the assistant manager. So it's a hobby that's been good to me, and it helped keep me and paying the bills and rent when I started staying in Portales during the summertime. Well, as a Jersey kid, I lived in a small town in South Jersey where you could actually go outside and see the city lights of Philadelphia. You could see the skyline of Philadelphia. My mom worked in Philadelphia. It was my parents' plan for me to stay in the New Jersey area, to perhaps Rutgers. But I had other ideas I received, and I'm not quite sure how I got the information from Eastern New Mexico University, but I filled out the interest form, mailed in the postcard, and I started getting calls, I started getting information. I got that wonderful postcard that showed Billy the Kid on his horse, and the mountains in the background and like sands. And so that old saying, "Go west, young man." I climbed on a airplane in Philadelphia International Airport, and the next stop was Clovis, New Mexico. And in fact, I was just back for homecoming this past fall. So it was really an interesting trip to take that trip again, because I can remember as an 18-year-old high school graduate landing in Clovis, New Mexico, getting off the airplane, thinking to myself, what have I done? And taking that drive down the highway from Clovis to Portales, getting to Eastern New Mexico, checking in. My dorm was Eddy Hall, and it was just such an exciting time to go someplace new. You could be who you were. You could meet new people. It was a part of the country that I'd never been to whatsoever. And I never looked back. It was just such a wonderful experience. One that I'm glad that I took full advantage of. I've always been I guess you could say a political junkie. I'm not quite sure whether you're familiar with these ancient things that are called magazines. And in our house, we used to get, Time, Newsweek, U.S. News and World Report, the paper. And I used to, read those, just digest them in school. In my history classes or social studies classes, I could read through that book in one day, just because I was very drawn to history, to politics. I would stay up and watch the elections as they happened. I was very much involved in current events and just as an interest. So I knew, as I was looking for my major and I saw political science, I didn't realize that was the selection, political science. And so when I chose political science, and then as I studied political science, continued to answer the question of, well, what are you going to do with that? And so it ended up well. My career has taken me to many places, which I had no idea. It's funny, if you were to show me when I was sitting at Philadelphia International Airport waiting for that airplane, waiting to board, if you were to show me a video of where I am now, I would think to myself, why would I be living in Asbury Park, New Jersey? Why would I be there? Why would I be traveling abroad? So, and that's something that I always share with, when I have the opportunity to speak with current college students or high school students about their future, is be ready for the unexpected, be open to opportunity and take advantage of it, because when you never know where it's going to, when it's going to show up or what it's going to present. So my goal was always to, and this really came from my parents, because, I'm a child of the late 60s, so I can remember the unrest in the Vietnam War and the assassination of Martin Luther King and Bobby Kennedy. And I remember clearly those things. What I learned from my parents and from my family is a responsibility to make your community a better place, to make it better than when you arrived, and to work hard to provide opportunity, understanding that the reason that I got to be mayor of Asbury Park, or I got to work with the Global Parliament of Mayors, or I get to be executive director, is because of the blood, sweat, and tears of many generations before me that made that possible. And so there was a special responsibility imparted in us, my brothers and sisters, and our family members, to be active in the community, wherever that community is, and to make sure that you pass on the opportunities that you've had on to the next generation. So I see that as the goal of my career. If I could just do a little bit of that, if the younger generations of those current students at Eastern New Mexico University have the opportunity to reach a little further, to go to new, greater heights than I did, then I think that's a life well lived, and that's my overall goal. Well, meeting so many different people, being involved with student activities. When I was at Eastern, I got to be student body president, and I served 2 terms. As student body president, I got to be involved, appointed by the governor of New Mexico to be on the student board of educational finance. I think I was one of the first 2 students to be appointed to that role. Meeting people on campus, taking advantage of the activities on campus, but also, once I started staying for the summers, getting to meet the town folk, getting to meet the people of Portales and Clovis and the surrounding area. And to this day, they're some of the best friends that I have. Those that I got to meet during the summertime and get off campus and to enjoy the community of Portales. Like I said, I worked at the city pool. And if you've been in Portales in the summertime, there's a few things to do, but when it's 102 degrees, you want to be at that pool. So that was like the place everybody went to, and getting to meet some locals and create new friendships. At the university, just the hands-on that the faculty and the staff and the administrators. I mean, you knew, you would see the president, you knew who the faculty were, they knew who you were. Everyone was really involved with one another. I don't know whether you know this or not, but down in the basement, in the campus union building, there used to be a snack bar, game room, bowling alley. And actually you could take bowling as your sport. So for one term, I took bowling class as my phys ed requirement. And it was all down there. So, one of my favorite spots was the Cup because our student government office was there. I spent a lot of time as student body president there. That was always a meeting point. Meet me at the main desk in the Cup, and we'll go from there. Not to mention the cafeteria, which I've learned to appreciate after 40 years of coming home and having to cook my own dinner. I've appreciated being able to pick up a tray and go on down the line. So I would probably say the Cup. Because Dr. Caldwell and I arrived at Eastern together. So when I arrived in fall of 1980, she arrived as well as a brand new instructor or professor. And I believe she's teaching English. So I was in her English class. So she's one that really mentored me and helped me to understand, the importance of, writing skills, which I still focus on today. Follow through. There's so much that you can do with it. You're going to face the questions about, what are you going to be, president? And just to look them in the eye and say yes. You can be president, student group. You can be a teacher. You can get into public service. But I would say follow your dreams. And that's something that is worth more than $1 million in terms of, at this day and age. I have friends who, went down the money path. They chose a major where, I can make a lot of money, do this and that, and ended up not being happy, not being fulfilled. Choose a career that makes you get out of bed in the morning, that makes you want to go, and you come home at the end of the day and you feel like, I did something today. I did something. You see that light bulb go on above a student's head in the classroom. When you solve a problem in your community. When you see, kids playing at a playground that wasn't there before, and they're safe, they're doing something active and being involved. That's probably the most important message I would say to those who in this field of political science is go follow it. Don't worry about what other people have to say. And then really to everyone, just follow your dreams. Follow what you want to do and figure out, who you want to be, where you can go. Because college is really, I have to say, when I landed, there's very few times in life where you get to pack your whole life into a trunk and go someplace where no one knows you and get to create yourself all over again. And that was going to college and then leaving college and going to your career. You get to arrive and be a brand new person. And people get to know you the way you establish yourself at college or career. There's very few times you can do that. So take full advantage of that and do something that makes you happy. Do something that's fulfilling. When I climbed on that airplane, telling my parents that I was going to be a political science major, and they had that look in their eye like, what are you going to do with that? It's been a long journey, but it's been a great journey. Eastern really, played a key role in helping me get to where I am today.